All right, President Biden finally breaking his silence on those unidentified objects shot down by the U.S. military as the Navy wraps up its recovery of the Chinese spy craft off the coast of South Carolina.
Meanwhile, the commander-in-chief says the last 3 objects we shot down do not appear to be connected to any foreign surveillance campaign, in particular, China.
Yes, not close. Peter Doocy is live from the White House with the latest. Peter.
President Biden is now saying the rules are changing, but that these new regulations about when he can and will give the order to shoot down an aerial object are going to remain classified. That's even though he now admits only one of the objects he gave the order to shoot down was a spy craft.
We don't yet know exactly what these 3 objects were, but nothing right now suggests they were related to China's spy balloon program or that they were surveillance vehicles from any other country. The intelligence community's current assessment is that these 3 objects were most likely balloons tied to private companies, recreation or research institutions studying weather or conducting other scientific research.
And it turns out what seemed like a rush to shoot unidentified objects out of the sky over the last few weeks wasn't because there were a bunch coming towards the U.S. for the first time. The president now admits they've been up there. We just didn't see them.
We don't have any evidence that there has been a sudden increase in the number of objects in the sky. We're now just seeing more of them, partially because the steps we've taken to increase our radars.
Answers about the object shot down over Alaska may be coming now via the Northern Illinois Bottle Cap Balloon Brigade. They say that they lost what Aviation Week is describing as a party-style Pico balloon over Alaska the same day an F-22 shot something down in the same spot. NORAD is saying the FBI has spoken with the Hobby Club and expects the National Security Council to have more on potentially identifying the objects. But Ron Meadows, the founder of the Scientific Balloon Solutions, which makes that kind of balloon, says, I tried contacting our military and the FBI and just got the runaround to try to enlighten them on what a lot of these objects probably are. And they're going to look not too intelligent to be shooting them down. The style of balloon that they think may be theirs that was shot down, $12 to $180 each. The style of weapon used to shoot them down, about $400,000 each.
Right.
Back to you.
You know, Peter, I never thought I'd hear this phrase. The FBI contacted the Hobby Club. Just
NORAD,
that right there is.
NORAD.
And the Hobby Club actually tried to turn themselves in. I'm guilty of having a balloon hobby.
We were tracking it until we lost it about the time. They said on Sunday.
You got to put yourself in that room at the Hobby Club, and they're watching. It's like, hey, where's our balloon on whatever day, February 10th?
Right, they have a tracker.
Hey, Bill, come here. Bill, Peter.
Peter, it says, you might have said this week, how much was it to shoot it down, 350,000?
It's like $430,000 for each one of those missiles.
$430 for a $12 balloon.
Yeah.
They said they can cost between $12 and $180. I guess you buy the Hobby Club buys it at Hobby Lobby.
Right.
That's what we call deficit spending. Peter, in the history of NORAD, and NORAD goes back a long time, when was the last time the United States, and at the suggestion of NORAD, shot anything down?
It hasn't happened. Not here.
And so it has happened now. And they took out a $12 balloon.
Well, they say they don't know, but again, they are admitting that it's some kind of research or recreation. You kind of feel for the guys who are putting $12 balloons up, only to have the world's mightiest fighting force coming after them.
It's so bizarre because if you're a hunter, you don't shoot at anything unless you know what you're shooting at. And with these balloons, did they not know? They didn't have any idea when they were firing?
Well, when you listen to the audio from the guys in the cockpit, they said that the object was moving so slow that they couldn't really get a good look at it, and that they were worried mostly about crashing into it before they had a chance to actually take it out. Good and again, point. We don't know for certain that this was the Hobby Club's balloon, but there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, and they contacted Aviation Week. I guess they contacted everybody that they thought might be interested. Aviation Week wrote it up.
All right, on the way home today, I'm gonna surveil Party City on the way home because they have a lot of balloons. And Peter, thank you very much for the live report.
We need to know who owns the other 2 balloons.
Yeah,
this Hobby Club's coming forward saying it might be.
I looked this up. any given day, guess how many weather-style balloons are launched any day in the world?
How many?
1,800 are launched up. Here in the United States, about 100 a day.
A lot of sidewinders.
Most flights...
How do they not interfere with
Well,
planes?
here's why. Most flights last 2 hours, drift 125 miles, and can reach up to 100,000 feet, at which point often they just explode.
I have a ship in a bottle. Do you think the Navy's going to attack it?
No.
I mean, do you think,
no.
Are we in danger?
Don't tell...
yeah, I don't want a submarine to take it out.
I mean, we laugh about it, but because it is just outrageous.
This is why they waited 2 weeks, because he's saying, who's going to be the one to tell the American public we blew up a $12 balloon?
Well, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas said, put this out on a tweet, to be fair, Joe Biden is providing powerful deterrents for any high school science clubs that might try to invade America.
Right.
So that's how much we know so far.
Right.
Could have been just a $12 balloon.
China, you're not off the hook. You still did the first one. The other three... well, stand down.
And remember that description of that object? It was cylindrical. That's exactly how they described the $12 peak balloon.
I mean, can't you picture this cute little group of like these little high school
and
kids?
They had a tracker on it, so they were able to track. And they're like, "What happened to our balloon?"
There are a lot of
Northern Illinois Bottle Cap Balloon Brigade.
It's something.
You're better off playing Little League if you're looking for something to do.
Not for everybody. We
I don't know.
cure cancer too.
Well, they just made the news. I think think suddenly,
but they
need
a balloon.
More
They're
interested in
Oh,
listen.
That was probably somebody's favorite.
You never know. I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.